Hurricane season 2020 is not letting up a single iota. I'm Mike Naso with this Saturday night update on Tropical Storm Iota, our Greek letter storm way out there in the Caribbean Sea. You can see from that perspective a very well organized tropical cyclone. It was looking a bit ragged all day long, but look at how it's blossomed there. It's getting that classic shape to it, and it does look like it's going to become another powerful, dangerous hurricane for Central America. They do not need that after taking a real fierce battering from Hurricane Eta over the last couple of weeks. We do have an Air Force aircraft headed from Biloxi, Mississippi, all the way down. These guys are great, and they're going to zigzag around Iota tonight, and it is expected that overnight, Iota should become another hurricane. Here's the latest from the National Hurricane Center as of 10 p.m. Eastern Time on Tropical Storm Iota. Iota was at 12.7 north, 77.0 west, winds of 70, so it's almost a hurricane, about 990 millibars, and again, it may have even gone over that threshold as we speak. It's moving west at 5, and that motion should continue not too quickly, and by Monday night, early Tuesday, it is expected to make landfall in Nicaragua, a little to the north of where Hurricane Eta made landfall, as another major hurricane. And I'm telling you right now, between the flooding rains and major hurricane winds, it is going to be just a horrific time down there in Nicaragua and Honduras. We've already lost hundreds of people over the last couple of weeks from Hurricane Eta, and Iota is not going to do them any good at all. I did want to note we do have a hurricane warning in effect for the island of Providencia, which is offshore Nicaragua here, and the eye of Iota is expected to be near that sometime early Monday. We also have, obviously, a hurricane warning for the coast of Nicaragua from the Honduras-Nicaraguan border, and that's all the way up the coastline there. We also have a hurricane watch for the island of San Andreas down here. Again, the hurricane is expected to move to the north of that, but right over Providencia and then right into the Nicaraguan coastline. But again, if you're right along the border here and in Honduras, you guys could still have a direct landfall with Iota. Very, very serious situation. Oh, look at this satellite. Look at right in here where it's bubbling. Watch that. That is developing a central dense overcast, a CDO. That is where the convection is just firing right over the center, and we'll likely see an eye develop. We probably have one in there right about now. And when the Air Force gets out there, they'll determine whether or not Iota has become a hurricane. Once it does, and it looks like it's right on the precipice of that, it is going to strengthen very, very quickly and become a very dangerous hurricane, at least a Category 3, if not, like Eta, a Category 4, and make that motion towards the west. There's high pressure to the north of it steering it, and there's more high pressure building in. So again, as you saw, that track's going to be straight into Honduras and Nicaragua, and a lot of heavy rainfall and gusty winds, a very nasty situation there. Now, as far as intensity, this is the wind shear map. You can see this green here, this little safe harbor, this upper-level anticyclone, which turns in the upper levels clockwise over the low-level counterclockwise circulation that allows it to ventilate, give it exhaust, give it a good environment for strengthening. And the center of Iota is still a little bit to the east here, but once it gets under that, over those hot Caribbean waters, all systems are go for strengthening. You can see, as I mentioned, the track here, we're going to have plenty of high pressure to the north, which should force it west and then even west-southwest. Now, unlike Eta, which ended up moving back north and then did, that whole thing we dealt with, this is expected to be more straightforward into landfall and then beyond, even into the Pacific. It could always regenerate into Iota or become a separate storm out there. Nevertheless, it's slow enough to where that rainfall could be very prolific, to say nothing of major hurricane force winds should it become a major hurricane. Here's the Hmon hurricane model. Look at this. Tuesday morning makes it 930 millibars, 155 miles per hour. That's almost a Category 5, and brings it ashore right near the border as a very disastrous Category 4 hurricane. The Hworth model, not as intense, but still a major hurricane, 948 millibars, and again, right near the border of Honduras and Nicaragua. So like I said, Nicaragua, we're expecting landfall there, but don't let your guard down if you live near the border here. You could have a direct landfall from Iota. Very, very serious situation there. Now, here's a map of the Caribbean Sea, and I got to tell you, we're way out there. I mean, you're talking, this is Jamaica up here. The storm is way down here near Colombia. I mean, you're talking Barranquilla, Cartagena. I mean, it is way down there. And that's going to allow it to just suck in and get that hot, rich fuel from the Caribbean. But these little islands here are in the path of the hurricane. San Andreas, you guys are under the hurricane watch. But this little island that I just circled here, this is Providencia. Okay? And you guys, they do have a population there. And it is kind of this tropical paradise island. And it is expected to be very near where landfall occurs before it gets to Nicaragua. And that's what it looks like there. I'm definitely not there right now, I'll tell you that much. But this area is a tourist attraction, and it does have a population. And the center of what is expected to be Hurricane Iota is expected to pass right over it as a strengthening major hurricane. So you guys need to batten down the hatches in those barrier islands off the coastline of Nicaragua over the next 24 hours. The time is running short for that little island. Here's the key messages on Iota as of 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Number 1, Iota is expected to intensify and be a major hurricane when it approaches the coast of Central America. A hurricane warning has been in effect now for Nicaragua, Honduras, and those conditions are expected beginning Monday. Number 2, hurricane conditions possible on Providencia beginning late Sunday night. That's that island I showed you, that tropical paradise island. And tropical storm conditions are expected in hurricane conditions by Sunday evening on the island to the south, San Andreas. And number 3, through Thursday, and this is most important, heavy rainfall from Iota will likely lead to life-threatening flash flooding and river flooding across portions of Central America. Flooding and mudslides in Honduras and Nicaragua could be exacerbated by Hurricane Ida's recent effects there, resulting in significant impacts. In layman's terms, Ida devastated Honduras and Nicaragua with flooding rains, and here comes Iota. It is not going to help at all. So I'm Mike Nasel with the latest on Tropical Storm Iota. We're going to watch it. Should become a hurricane overnight and become a very powerful hurricane, another major hurricane. What is this? We had how many major hurricanes? We had, I'm trying to remember here, we had Laura, we had Laura, Teddy, Delta, Ada. What am I missing? I'm missing one of them. Zeta? Was Zeta a major hurricane? It might have been. Now we've got Iota. I don't know. We're talking 5, 6 major hurricanes at least in this record-breaking hurricane season. The most active hurricane season in the history of the Atlantic Basin. I'm Mike Nasel with the latest on Iota, and I will talk to you guys next time with more as this dangerous system strengthens in the Caribbean Sea.